Hey, what's up, guys? I know it's been a very long time since I made up my last video on the N55 wagon build. But for today's video, I got something short, but something really cool and special. I was working with a company out making a special item for anybody out there who has the N55 Xdrives. Now, we all know that if you have a rear-wheel drive N55, you can use there's a couple different options as far as an oil sum. There's obviously the S55. You could get that kit with the, it kind of has its own little oil sum and oil baffle, that with the pan and the additional oil pickup. But anybody who knows, that kit is very expensive, so I kind of wanted to go a different route because I also have Xdrive. I wanted to keep the Xdrive on the wagon, and the options for the oil sum and pickup are really only available for the rear-wheel drives. So I kind of been looking around. It's not really much for the Xdrives, but I did find a company that actually makes it for the Xdrive. So here's basically what it looks like. So here we have right here, guys, this is a oil baffle sum right here for the Xdrive. As you can see here, the little flaps, so oil would go in through here and get picked up on the tube. And this, what the purpose of this is if you want to take your vehicle to the track, you don't, because of the G-force, when a car is moving on a different direction, all of the oil kind of gets sludged to one side. And if your oil gets sludged on one side and it doesn't reach this tube, you could actually starve your motor because there's no oil flow going through. And even if it's, for those few fractions of a second, no oil going through can, damage your rod bearing, and then your engine's completely toast. But this helps with that solution. What's really cool is this is basically, before I get into a little bit details, this is the company that I worked with. It's RR Motorsports 2. They're currently located out in Spain, and I had messaged them and saying, hey, I have a build. I want to work on something, an oil pump for the Xdrives. Do you guys have anything available? So this is something they mocked up. This is something they made. So you can see different welds here, and this is the overall fit. Now, one thing I did notice, so overall fitment is really good. If you see here, kind of goes through there, bolts in fine, very nice and sturdy. The only thing, I have to actually get back to them, but the only thing that I did notice is there's 3 pieces of hardware that you have to go to like your Ace Hardware and get longer bolts, which is one right here, one right here, and one right here. The normal OEM bolts are these little Torx right here. These are a few, I would say, few millimeters too short, and when you try to use these OEM bolts, you're gonna end up basically damaging the threads because you just have so little threads left that's actually clamping in. And to not damage that, the actual threads, I went to Ace Hardware and I got took one of these out, took it with me in Ace Hardware, and then I kind of matched the thread size. Then I got one just probably about that much longer, and I was able to get 3. So I got that with a washer, and it worked perfectly fine. I torqued it to the specs of these Torx bits right here, and it's sturdy. That's the only thing, modification I guess you have to make. But other than that, once you get those 3 bolts, which is here and these 2, then you guys are in the clear. But if you want this application for your car and you do have an Xdrive, yeah, just look down in the description below, and I'll link these guys' product. Now, on their website, it does say X5, N55, but it doesn't really matter. You know, obviously this is an F30 oil sum, so I mean it fits perfectly fine. So, and with the oil pan, I put it on top and it fit perfectly fine. So as long as you have a N55 and the bottom end looks just like this, where your oil pickup tube is sort of like slanted like this and in that design, then you guys are good. You guys are good in the clear.